acting, unacting, if you...
You've lost me.
So what I'm saying, actually, you see, I mean, it's a combination of both. I mean, here it is the natural instinct, and here is control. You are to combine the two in harmony. Not, if you have one to the extreme, you will be very unscientific. If you have another to the extreme, you become all of a sudden a mechanical man, no longer a human being. So it is a successful combination of both. So therefore, it is not only, so therefore it's not pure naturalness or unnaturalness. The ideal is unnatural naturalness or natural unnaturalness.
Yin yang, eh?
Right, man, that's it. But if you do not have style, if you just say, well, here I am, you know, as a human being, how can I express myself? Totally and completely. Now, that way, you won't create a style, because style is a crystallization, you know. I mean, that way, it's a process of continuing growth. Hand-wise, it's very slow.
Oh, is it?
And you push it out, but all the time you are keeping the continuity going. Bending, stretching, everything. You just keep it moving.
It's like a ballet dancer there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, to them, you see, the idea is running water never grows stale. So you got to just keep on flowing.
Interesting. We don't, in our world, and haven't since the days of the Greeks who did, combine philosophy and art with sport. But quite clearly, the Oriental attitude is that the three are facets of the same things.
Man, listen, you see, really, to me, ultimately, martial art means honestly expressing yourself. Now, it is very difficult to do. I mean, it is easy for me to put on a show and be cocky, and be flooded with a cocky feeling and then feel like pretty cool and all that. Or I can make all kinds of phony things, you see what I mean? Blinded by it. Or I can show you some really fancy movement. But to express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, and to express myself honestly, now, that, my friend, is very hard to do. And you have to train. You have to keep your reflexes so that when you want it, it's there. When you want to move, you're moving. And when you move, you're determined to move. Not taking 1 inch, not anything less than that. If I want to punch, I'm gonna do it, man, and I'm gonna do it, you see. So that is the type of thing you have to train yourself into it, to become one with the, you think?
Yeah, this is very
empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
So can Shakur Stevenson become a true master of the sport of boxing? Floyd Mayweather is known as the master of boxing, the smartest boxer to ever exist. But the signs that Shakur Stevenson is showing by sparring Terrence Crawford, by studying other fighters like Sugar Ray Leonard, and learning from his mistakes, learning to not always please the crowd, but please the crowd, if you know what I'm saying. Be yourself, train hard, push yourself to the absolute limits, want to fight the best, never make excuses. That's what I see out of Shakur Stevenson. He's only 24 years old. He has not reached his peak. He's nowhere near the end. I think with the Valdez fight, it's a really, really excellent fight for him. The timing is great. I think that he's showing poise. I think he's showing that he wants to become the true master of the sport. I had a video before speaking about the defense of prowess that he has obtained, and I think that comes from sparring great guys like Terrence Crawford and Yordenis Ugas. Both tough opponents. Both guys are at 147. Shakur Stevenson only fights at 130. So a lot of fighters, they do spar bigger guys, but they don't spar the best guys at certain points. He's not sparring just for styles. He's sparring to become great. And for you to work on your craft, you have to outthink your opponent, you have to face somebody that's that's better than you or just as dangerous as you. Because if you get dropped, you get outsparred. He has spoken about being outclassed by Terrence Crawford before, but he came back and he redeemed himself. That's at 24 years of age. A lot of guys are not doing that. And like I spoke about his defense, is it better than Floyd Mayweather's? Only time will tell. But check out Shakur Stevenson speaking about greatness. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.
How do you want this fight to be remembered after the years? Because it could be a historic fight.
I want this fight to be remembered that I dominated the fight and I went in there and I controlled the fight and, like a lot of Floyd fights, so Sugar Ray Leonard or Pernell Whitaker, you watch them dudes, they go in there, they dominate their fights, and I want it to be like that.
So you want to write a beautiful story so you can tell to your grandkids when the time comes?
Yeah, I want to be known as one of the fighters who fought the fighters in their prime, fought them at their best, and I fought Oscar Valdez when it was time, and I went in there, I beat him at his best.
You're fighting on this big stage at the Indian Grand, this big historic fights. What does it mean?
I feel good. I feel like I'm coming into a superstar. I feel like I'm going to be a superstar, a real superstar, like Canelo Alvarez kind of superstar as my career grows, and I feel like it's happening. And this is all a part of it.
I saw you sparring with Terrence Crawford in that photo. Can you tell me about those sparring sessions? Like, how is it sparring Terrence?
I came up a little different than everybody. I kind of keep sparring in the gym, but I will say Terrence pushed me. He pushed me all the time. Every time we spar, he pushed me to new levels.
Yeah, I'm not asking if you got the better of him, but like, how is it to be there in there with him? Like, what makes him so difficult, so tricky when you're in there with him?
I feel good being in there with Terrence Crawford, but he's a special fighter. Like, Bud is a thinker. He can do everything. There's nothing Terrence Crawford can't do in the ring. He got speed, power. He can switch orthodox, switch southpaw. Terrence Crawford is a blessed fighter who got it all.